So give me a quick background as to what went on, Cliff Notes. I know, like, you sent me something, like, very Cliff Notey about it.
Oh, yeah, no, this is basically the original thing was this is from the Ottawa citizen, Ottawa animator sent to prison on child pornography charges. Ottawa artist who helped animate a children's TV show has been sentenced to 28 months in prison for possession for more than 60,000 images of child pornography and sharing them online. Tom Wysom? W-Y-S-O-M? Wysom? We'll go with that.
Just call him Tom. I'll just call him Tom. I don't know any other Tom.
Yeah, Tom W. 55 has worked on TV productions such as My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and The Littlest Pet Shop, according to the Internet Movie Database. Yeah, he's actually worked on a fair number of episodes, but I think he just did the, I could be wrong about some of the terminology, but it was the rigs, I think, might have been his. Sentenced earlier this month, pleading guilty in charges in December, 2 months after the police executed a search warrant at home at Old Ottawa South. Again, keep in mind, pre-recorded, I can take whatever the hell out of this. Police found 60,000, many of them duplicates, along with 1,626 videos, some of which depicted adults engaging in sexual behavior with children. In some of these images, young girls had their hands and feet bound. Crap, I didn't read that part before. In pre-sentencing report presented in court, Tom W. told a probation officer that he developed an addiction to adult there he is. Creepy?
So it just took a second.
No, it's okay.
Had to update Skype, apparently.
Hello, Creepy.
Yeah, Goldie just got
Aeon.
back to me. I was like, let's see if he wants to join.
No, I saw that Goldie got back to you because he's sitting in the same room as me.
Oh, does he want in?
Yeah,
it's your boy, douchebag Dwight, hosting on you for our podcast.
Does he want in or not?
Yeah, no.
Put him in.
Cool. You're telling me stuff I already know.
Okay.
So don't put him in or put him in.
Do you want in or not?
Yes, I do.
He wants to be in.
There we go. Wunderbar. In a pre.
So, am I the latest person, or
no? I think everything's good. I was just reading off the article because Peter wanted a recap. Anyways, in a pre-sentencing report presented at court, Wysom, or Tom W., told a probation officer that he had developed an addiction to adult pornography about a decade ago, but slowly became desensitized to it and needed something more. He turned to child pornography, Wysom said, which became a way to deal with his clinical depression and other medical issues.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Well, I'm not a medical whatever the hell, but yeah, a forensic psychiatrist, Dr. Jonathan Gray, conducted a sexual behavior assessment of Wysom and concluded that he had the pedophilic disorder. Wysom told Gray he turned to child porn in response to the untreated stress that he was experiencing. Justice David Berg took exception to Wysom's attempt to blame outside forces for his behavior. I think that you still quite far from comprehending the problem is you and only you, the judge told Wysom in his decision. I think that you are still trying to rationalize your behavior to yourself and to others in the face of society's reaction to what you have done. The judge told Wysom he could have erased the images on his computer and sought professional help, but chose to instead to continue his destructive path because he didn't think he would get caught. Do you need further, Peter, or would that be sufficient for now?
That's sufficient, unless there's like Golden, you mute your mic when you're not.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
So Lightning Bliss is here?
Yeah, she came up to me and she was asking my opinion on something else with the fandom, and I said, well, this is a bit more topical, probably on point, and maybe the original idea was, and I wasn't sure how to do this because I didn't script it out because I didn't think we were going to get to it already.
Yeah, so. I literally a fan came to me with a topic that I didn't think was as important as, say, the topic he was comparing it to, which began at the beginning of the year. And then FGR tells me about this, and I'm like, no, I did not hear about this till literally just now. What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
By the way, Lightning, I saw you at the con.
Yeah, I saw you too.
Yeah, we were running around trying to fix Creepy's legendarily bad Google phone.
Oh gosh.
You can go suck my dick, FNGR. Maybe if you called people and said, I would like to
Type C.
I would like to apologize for the foul, repugnant behavior of my uncouthful and unclassy characteristic of this gentleman from, where is it, Detroit? I forget where they... Oh, I'm sorry, Peter. You was
Detroit.
Yeah, I'm from Detroit. What are you talking about?
You're one of use one of the good ones, Peter. There's the difference. Anyways.
Oh, I'm a bad guy now.
It's okay. It's okay. I moved to New England and became a New England gentleman. I've purged myself of my savage roots.
Indeed. So I've completely forgot. Oh yeah.
Well, I stayed in the jungle. All right.
Okay. So wow. I've completely lost all resemblance. That's what you get when you take a couple months off from really serious podcasting. You forgot how to do any of that shit. But yeah, the point was that I was like, there has to be some kind of way of structuring and giving like some kind of public service announcement to, let kids know that not necessarily to just trust people based on their fame or their position in the fandom, no matter how official it is. And they should probably, if they're ever made to feel uncomfortable or whatever, probably contact a family member or someone like, I don't know, a police officer. I just, when I was reading through this and it said 60,000 images, I mean, who's to say that of those 60,000 images, it wasn't like fans of the show that, he shook down, or of those 1,600 videos that these are maybe kids that fucking got talked into sending something they shouldn't have. Again, that's just speculation. I don't have anything from the article in question, which I'll include a link to. I don't know. Again, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants, and if we do a really bad job, we could always come back to it. Who dropped Goldie?
Yeah, it was Goldie.
I don't know. That was just a good lucky guess.
Oh, I joined again.
Yes.
He can always just sit next to Aeon and talk.
Indeed.
Just a suggestion to avoid.
No, here's the thing.
You're sort of.
Goldie, if we sit next to each other, we're going to be pinging each other off.
I don't know why, but Skype is taking my USB microphone and lowering it down every time I talk.
No, it's coming through good. What is it?
By the way, Bliss.
Oh,
I know
Yes,
you
sir.
made some mad money at the con. If you're ever interested in updating your audio equipment, I am a bit of an audiophile and I can help you out, because updating from USB to XLR can be difficult.
Yeah, I would suggest if you just want to go the cheap route, if you go to XLR, just get a Blue Icicle. They're like $60.
Okay,
Don't. God.
Sorry.
Go big
I
dog.
just want to apologize in advance for all the technical issues. I
I would hope so. This is an audio technician. I would hope it's being appropriate, or it's behaving itself at least.
Oh, what's the microphone?
Yeah, this is my microphone, and it's an audio technician.
Oh, you mean a Audio Technica?
Might have been saying it wrong this whole time.
I was about to say I'm not familiar with the microphone. Of course.
No.
Would you?
Sounds like you've been saying it wrong.
I know. I'm just like wondering if like Lightning Bliss took us for drinks, would she bust out the champagne?
Champagne.
Are you?
Yeah, we could get some Luxonga.
Are you a regular connoisseur of microphones?
No,
Sorry.
I am.
this is like my first good microphone, and I've not replaced it because I don't like change.
No, I have one that's been discontinued some time ago. So, well, tell you what, Bliss, let's try and get back to it. You said that you ran into a couple of fans at the con who basically maybe not gave you their life story, but gave you a little too much, and this would be a good time to tell fans, hey, no matter how much you love any of us, some more than others, even including Peter, you don't need to tell us everything.
Especially Peter. Don't fucking trust that guy.
Oh,
Fuck you too. But no, I do agree that like you don't, unless we're like really good friends, you probably shouldn't be spilling out your life story with all the nitty gritty details that are. Sometimes you will get that awkward person who gives like R-rated details, and you can tell they're genuinely like, for lack of a better term, socially awkward. If I want to be politically correct about it, and they tell you things that probably shouldn't be spilled out.
Well, the story I was telling at the GR happened like a year or two ago. And this was a young man, like probably about your age, Aeon, but probably on the spectrum. He was a child at heart.
Right.
And he sent me an email. I don't know. Probably I had my email posted publicly somewhere like an idiot I am. Don't ever do that if you don't want your private email to be known. There's a safety tip, folks. But yeah, this gentleman contacted me. He said he was a fan. He gave me basically an essay about what his OC was about. And then what immediately concerned me was he just openly gave me his mailing address and cell phone number.
Whoa!
Yeah.
No, you said
Good
has
God.
has anything happened like that with younger fans? So more important.
Fortunately, yes.
Is that a regular occurrence or?
Thankfully, no. But once in a blue moon, I will get, what appears to be a minor, normally under 13 years of age, because they will hint at it. They'll say, like, my mom and dad know I have a DeviantArt page, and I was wondering if you can mail me something. Here's my mailing address. And I'm like, whoa. So, yeah, with every single child or even adult who has contacted me and given me this private information, I had to be... I mean, when I come off as blunt, some people think I'm angry when I'm not. That's dangerous. People think they know who I am because they see me on YouTube. I am a complete and total stranger. You don't know how I could really be. You don't know how anyone could really be on the internet. They could be murderers or psychopaths for all you know, that just put on a charade to be impressive or attract people in.
Generally
it's
speaking,
smart.
The most charismatic people are usually the most dangerous.
Or they can be, because we don't want to sell this idea that all charismatic people are secretly evil Nazi pedophile people.
Well, it's frustrating for me.
I mean, like, I'm charismatic.
No. What I mean, but whoa.
Well, but what's frustrating to me is that so this young man, after I explained to him what he just did was very dangerous, and I was very concerned for his well-being. Unfortunately, he took that the wrong way, and he stopped contacting me. And however, his mother contacted me because she discovered that he had been emailing me. No, it's not a bad thing. Hear me out.
Okay.
So the mother contacts me with an open mind, saying that her son is severely rehab or hospital severely special. And she gave detail that her son was very distraught after talking to me and was threatening to leave the fandom, was throwing away stuff that he liked that were pony related. And she wasn't attacking me. She simply wanted to know what was going on because he deleted the emails. So she had no proof of what he and I discussed. So I happily showed her screenshots of our conversation and explained to her I was simply concerned because your son was giving me, who is a stranger, his personal information. And I'm sure you don't want that kind of information to be get out on the web and whatnot. And she was so grateful and understanding. And yeah, I got to meet her and her son at BronyCon, and they were both very, very thankful that I spoke to them. And she was even more happy that, well, at least he gave that personal information to someone who would never use it. But what if it were somebody that was not trustworthy? What if it were somebody authentically dangerous? And that's what scares me, is adults and children alike are doing this blindly.
Yeah, I mean, considering recent events in the community.
This is definitely something to worry. I wouldn't say worry about, but be very mindful of.
Well, Creepy, you come from a pretty big fandom. Does that happen to you at all at conventions?
At cons, I have had people. The thing is that I'm very open when it comes to like communication with fans. Like, I leave my Skype, my Discord, and my YouTube email address in the description of all my videos.
But that's work stuff.
No. I mean, I have a Discord server that anyone can join. Anyone's allowed to reach me literally at any time, just in case if they have concerns or comments about any of my videos or want to contribute in any way. Of course, like if I was someone nefarious and I wanted to, I've met emotionally vulnerable fans before. And I remember this. I mean, usually it's people who are like, yeah, I was suicidal before I met you and found your videos, or you really helped me through a tough time. But like, kind of like what they say with Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. If, you have the ability to influence people, you can always influence them for the worst. And it's really up to the content creator to avoid doing that, for as much good as we can do with a stupid video online. There's a lot of bad you can do.
It's like, I don't even know what to do if a child does this. And I know this is considered a meme, but I'm being serious when I say this. Where are your parents? Do they know you're doing this?
There's another thing too. That's what I was getting at with the whole charisma angle. Is that like you should definitely be wary of it, but it's one thing where you shouldn't be divulging information like that, but you should also be on the lookout for a few other factors that go along with it. So, for instance, being charismatic isn't an indicator of anything. In the same way that being a martial artist doesn't therefore mean you're going to be on the lookout to kick everyone's ass. you can, but that doesn't mean that you're actively seeking that out. But the thing you'd want to worry about is, say, is the person what I like to call a gatekeeper. So, for instance, take Toon Critic, for example. The reason why he was able to influence as many people as he did and do that stuff probably had nothing to do with charisma, because me and Anthony can talk all day about how he kept screwing up and he had to run back to him. The problem, though, is that it's like he presented himself as like, oh, you want to get big in the analysis community? Well, then... message me. Yeah, message me. I'll mentor you all the way through. But the problem is he was the only one. Or at least he presented himself as the only one, rather than people who got there through skill, take Silverquill. In Season 4, he didn't have any connections. He basically just posted videos that were really well edited, and people noticed him through that. But there are some people who seem to have this idea, and these are in a similar vein, though not... There's some overlap between this and the people who buy the elitism thing. That anyone who has any sort of fame is necessarily elitist and they want to keep everyone out. They think oh, well, I need to know people and I'm entitled for them to give me a shot at attention or an audience to make it big. So then you get someone like Toon who has bad intentions and then says, oh, yeah, I see you want to get big in the analysis community, and oh, yeah, you're totally right. Don't forget that hard work stuff. Yeah, just get it through me. All I ask in return is a couple favors.
Oh, yeah, no. I can definitely see where you're getting at.
Because that's how Hollywood does it.
Okay, so there are two. Well, wait. Yeah, no. But,
wait. Let me just finish this one thing. That's how Hollywood does it, by the way. Is that you hear about all these things about like the big Me Too and Pedogate thing in Hollywood? Is that oh, well, you want to be famous? Well, you better give a foot job to Dan Schneider because. You want to be famous, right? You want that guest spot in iCarly? Oh, you better comply with Dan getting the Van Schneider.
That was the safest example for that you could have done.
No, I know it was the safest example, but it's also an example that everyone gets.
I actually can kind of confirm this because it was very much the same thing with John Kay. He took artists right out of art school and he would offer to pay for them to go through art school, and once he did, he'd forced them to live in his house, and then he got him a job. And next thing you know, that's the only job that they have, and it's just where do you go from there? I mean, John Kay very much did the exact same thing, and this is coming from me. I'm an asshole. I actually interviewed the person who was affected by John Kay.
Whatever.
You don't need to have people. I mean, it's good to know people in when it comes to collabing or reviewing or whatnot, but don't go around saying that I want to be just like you. I want to be just like Aeon. I want to be just like Lightning Bliss and all that stuff.
They should probably eliminate the idea, especially in this fan, because to make it especially in online communities, it's not nearly as connection heavy or inner circle ish as say Hollywood is. So people might think oh, it's just like Hollywood where. And yeah, if you want to get in a big Dr. Wolf project, you should probably become someone first, because in this community, you can totally get it through hard work, because that's how some of the bigger people got it big. Like I said, Silverquill got big just through hard work and editing. He didn't know anyone. So just get rid of the idea that you need connections and you have to be in the elite circle. And then most people will be oh, well, instead of having to go through this shady gatekeeper like Toon Critic, I can just be oh, hey, I'll just work really hard and earn it myself. That's a really good mentality to have.
I think there was a saying amongst this that if it's too good to be true, it probably isn't.
Well, no, it's that it probably is, but
or probably is. Sorry, I misphrased it again.
For me, in my opinion, I feel when it comes to wanting to get big, collaborations actually are a very big part of YouTube right now and the algorithm, because YouTube's algorithm constantly changes, but right now it favors name association with other people. The more people that have you tagged in their tags, the more you're going to show up in search terms and all that jazz. But that said, you shouldn't start your channel and then start making connections. You should start making quality videos and make people want to collab with you to begin with. Or even just go hey, I've been doing this for a while now. I like your content. I was thinking that maybe we could do something here. Would you mind doing a small voice role on my channel, or would you mind letting me help you out? Because honestly, I love it when people work with me, because that's less narrating I need to do.
Yeah, it's essential. So basically, what you're saying is that if you want to get far, you have to earn it, not just
show that you're willing to make a video first, and then let's talk about a collaboration.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're getting at, and it's definitely playing off of what Peter said earlier, that if somebody, let's say, wants to be part of the analysis community and wants to quote-unquote be like this or be like that, be like Dr. Wolf, Josh Scorcher, insert other random name here.
Me?
You can't just assume that you're going to be mentored. It doesn't work like that. It's because it's a difficult thing to try to like implement into a lot of people who are in that mentality. Based off of what you just said, that, you know, it comes not just hard work, but how good of an impression that you're willing to give and just keep doing what you do. I mean, no matter what, you're always going to build an audience if you start out with something of what you want to do, whether it's something related to this quote unquote circle or something of your very own entity of what you like to do with your channel. Trying to keep track of my train of thought here that, okay, so for people who think that they assume that they want to become a part of something big, and they fail to realize that it has to be earned because it's that natural state that the world centers around them. And a part of that, unfortunately, happens because I did learn this when I was in med school at one point, that it kind of plays off of how children think. And when they grow up, at the very young age, like 4, 5, or 6, they'll think that the world is centered around them. And that mentality can sometimes carry on through some people in their ages. And that's why that kind of course of action exists nowadays when it comes to people like what Bliss explained with that kid, or to anybody who has this unintended entitled attitude that they haven't grown off of. And because of stuff like that, it can lead to other serious consequences like what happened with this article that was shared with us. So the question that I'm kind of like jumping the hurdle here. What can we do? Like, if there's any possibility, what can we do, or what can we encourage if we give our if we were to give our 2 cents on what we can do to help this out and support trying to fix the issue? I know it's kind of jumping the hurdle here because some people will still have that mentality no matter what, but what do you guys think?
There's a lot of times where I get a question asked to me either on Twitter, email, Patreon, whatever you want to call it. And it's always how do I do what you do? And I always just like answer it very simply and aptly with just start making videos, man. Like, you know, encourage.
Most of us literally just Googled it.
I started when I first joined Brony Fandom, and I had a podcast called That Brony Show. And that landed me a job on Ponyville Live, if you remember that. I used to actually have a pretty popular podcast on there, too. And then after a series of events, I ended up leaving Ponyville Live, moving back over to YouTube, where I eventually, through my show, met Tats Tops Videos. And, you know, like we both liked the show. He didn't exactly make show content, and I did script writing for him. Through him, I learned how to read and narrate scripts and write them and all that jazz, which eventually led me to, you know, starting the Creepypasta channel, which everyone knows me for today. It's learning through someone else isn't that bad, but like, you know, one thing as content creators we definitely have to do is understand that, like, you know, either being completely distant and not responding to these questions will, you know, just lead them to thinking you're an elitist sack of crap. But if you do answer these questions, you have to be sure not to handhold and, you know, tell them exactly everything they need to do. Because honestly, a lot of these people are just, you know, looking for an opinion, not the exact technical details. If they wanted the exact technical details, they could YouTube it. You just kind of got to give them the push, like, hey, if you want to make content, go do this. And, you know, for me, I'm like, if you show me some progress and you're not that bad, I'll gladly collab with you. Literally anyone.
Yeah, no, usually you want to build like a resume or a repertoire with that. But even then, something I've noticed with some of the people, like when it goes back to the whole people think they need a mentor and they need to be told how to do it. A lot of those people are too paint by numbers because, like I said, a good way to show us that you have initiative is to get all that basic stuff established yourself and seeking out the mentor. Because like I said, the way Toon Critic got his stuff was banking on the idea that it's like, oh, you don't know what to do and you want to be in the analysis community? Well, come right here, small child. I will educate you on all the numbers you have to paint. And yeah, basically stuff like that. It's like a good way to. I'm not trying to make this into a content creation thing, but it's like you should probably show your own initiative and then appeal to some of the bigger people when you have like a demonstration of competence, as opposed to just saying, "Hey, mentor me because I want to be big and I think I can get it through your name recognition."
Well, just to twirl this back to the topic at hand about being self-aware and protecting yourself online and even offline. The whole point to all of y'all's conversations being to the public or whoever's listening, you need to stand on your own 2 feet at the end of the day and be able to support yourself. And yeah, you can make friends on the internet, get to know people, but be self-sustaining so people won't take advantage of you.
That's something that a lot of people have to deal with when they're like younger, like especially as a teenager. I kind of relied on relationships with other people just to validate my own self-worth. Even my older brother, who suffers from chronic depression, literally puts all of his self-worth into what other people think of him. And if anything happens with that, it goes down a bad path. It's the biggest advice for that is a lot of people just need to learn to love themselves. And I know that's like kind of a generic thing to say that you'd probably hear on Sesame Street, but it's true.
No, even my mother says like a good saying is be yourself, everybody else is taken.
Definitely. And God dang it, like it's when it comes to fans, I don't really see any real valid ways of fighting like what you like, that situation where you had where someone just gave you their email address and their address,
their actual mailing address.
Yeah, I don't know really any good ways of actually fighting that other than educating the ignorance of doing something like that.
Yeah,
and even then, it's like that's partially society too, because it shouldn't be on the people you contact to tell you, hey, don't send me your contact information. Like, that's shit that they would usually teach you even in school, because they figured, hey, your parents might not even teach you that. Like,
we live in a world where information is just easily attainable. Super easy.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, mention that to people who are clueless. But even then, like, if you're going to say, oh, what can I do about it? It's like, well, you can really only do this. Because you're always going to get someone who doesn't know how to follow the rules, and it's not necessarily your job to teach it. The only thing that you would do is just not take advantage of them doing it.
Yeah, and that's the kind of crappy thing, You got like people like Logan Paul, out there who are doing objectively shitty things, and this guy's whole, and you got people like Dune Critic who are doing objectively shitty things, and the bottom line that comes from this is that content creators are human. People need to realize that, and it's up to the content creator not to abuse the position that they've been given or that they've earned. Like I could, as someone with over 100,000 subs and all that jazz, even though in reality I'm just some schmuck living in an apartment trying to afford rent every month. Some people look at me like I'm fucking Johnny Depp, and
yeah, I hear you.
They'll treat you like that. And they'll ask questions, and they'll try to get close to you, and they'll treat you like a friend because that's what they think they need to do. And honestly, it's a mentality that is stemmed from society, but it's up to the content creator not to abuse that. And so many times they abuse it, and I've seen it happen so many times, and I've called people out so many times for just abusing it. It's like, I don't like it. I'm honestly terrified of talking to fans because I'm afraid that I'll subtly manipulate them in some way that I didn't intend to do. But I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Do your best to educate and not
to influence someone positively, but it's also a scary commitment that you never know where you could inadvertently manipulate them into that could cause even more trouble.
Right.
It's scary that you could say the wrong thing to somebody at the wrong time, too, and there's not much you can do. It's like you said, we're not perfect. We are human beings. We do have a responsibility, but at the same time, we do make mistakes, too. But all we can do is do our best and remind people to be self-aware and that, we live in a world where information is easy to obtain. This is not like the 90s where the internet wasn't as vast. People didn't know where I lived or who my name was. I was a nobody. I was a kid playing outside, believe it or not.
No, you weren't. The outside doesn't exist. I'm a millennial.
I did this thing.
If you listen quietly enough, you can hear the vape in the background.
he unslings it from his holster and takes a long drag. And I think like most of the time when it comes to people sharing personal information, one of the things that like freaked me out the most actually had nothing to do with like sexual or promiscuous stuff. Because something I'll do if someone messages me is I will immediately ask them, okay, first off, what's your age? You know, just as a necessary precaution, like what's your age and why are you contacting me? But another thing is like 90% of the time when someone confronts me with like something freaky, it's not of a sexual nature. It's something, because this happened to me a couple times, like, oh, I'm depressed and I feel like killing myself tonight. What do I do? And this guy's a total stranger. I'm like, right. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I feel the need to do something because I've been suicidal myself, and I've even made a video on that. But one of the biggest reasons I made that video was because I had a few instances where someone would approach me and say that, and part of me is just like, you know, I'm not a licensed therapist, I'm not a psychologist, and I emphasize that in the video pretty heavily. I'm just giving an anecdotal thing from experience in that video to see if that helps anyone. But they'll come to me like, I'm like, oh, Aeon, can you somehow...
Look, it's the Messiah of depression.
Yeah, it's the Messiah of and that's one of the reasons I made the video, was so that those people would probably look at the video and maybe take something away from that. But I even make it a point in the video, seek an actual medical professional, because I'm just a guy. I don't have any licensing, any psychological licensing. I don't have a psychology degree with a therapy license. I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't prescribe any medication. Because 90% of the time, what I'm going to tell you to do is, first off, don't do it. And then second off, call the suicide hotline. And I can't do anything beyond that, because I don't know who you are.
I actually have some people, you know, like, a lot of times, there's this person on my writing team who constantly comes to me when they have problems, and I always feel bad, because I feel like there's nothing I can really do to help them, because, you know, like, even though I do know this person quite well, it's just, I also understand I'm not qualified to solve these deeper issues, and that some people just expect me to be able to handle because, you know, I guess. But no, like, I completely understand that. A lot of people, it definitely, like, I mean, that's actually the exact same advice I give other people too. And
the most advice,
come to me.
The most advice I could really give to anybody is like, look, if you're procrastinating and listening to, like, you know, YouTube and you need to do your homework, yeah, I could tell you to get off your ass and do your stuff. And if you need me to be that guy, I might be able to do that for you. But, you know, if you need me to go pick your brain and put you back together, hey, I'm having trouble keeping myself together, you know? I think a lot of us
That's why
are.
I'm here, so I could yell at FGR and call me names.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had kids come to me saying, like, look, your show makes me so happy. I'm dealing with depression. My family doesn't love me. Nobody understands me. I was hoping you could help me. And yeah, I ended up pretty much saying what Creepy says or whatever GR says, is that I'm not a therapist, guys. And my show's not even about therapy. I mean, I'm glad my show's able to entertain and bring joy and happiness, but I don't know anything about dealing with chronic depression or thoughts of suicide.
Yeah, but like when it comes to, like, going back to that thing, it's like, it's good that I can help some people out with that. It's good that that some people say I'm a good person to talk to, but the only way I can really give you any greater assistance is if I know you personally. But if you're a stranger on the internet, I don't know much of anything about you. And then on top of that, I have my own problems to deal with, because sometimes people will come up to me and ask me something, but I'm in the middle of a depression episode, so I'm worried about keeping myself together and stable. And then it's like someone else is like, oh no, I need some help, please carry me. And it's just like,